Hi, hello and welcome to another edition of Sports Updates Ghana. My name is Joseph Adamafio, and coming up in this edition, we're going to look at the lessons learned from Ghana's 2-0 defeat to Mexico in the international friendly game, which was played at the Bank of America Stadium, and it was quite a disappointing performance from the Black Stars, but there are some lessons to be learned from this game as we prepare for the 2023 AFCON, which will be hosted next year, January, February. Well, before we get into the Black Stars and their lessons learned from the game, please help us grow our channel by hitting the subscribe button, like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment whether you agree with me or you don't agree with me with some of the lessons I'm about to share with you. Well, let's get right into it. And one of the first lessons I learned in the game was that Coach Chris Hughton is too defensive conscious. Yes, he was too defensive minded in the game, and when the starting lineup was released, we were expecting some players to start in the game for the Black Stars, but looking at how the team shaped up for this particular game, it proved that the Black Stars were going to defend, and that didn't help us in the game. In fact, the first half to the last 75 minutes of the game, the Mexicans dominated the game, and I think that it was a bad setup by Coach Chris Hughton. Wanted to see a Black Stars that was more commanding, that was more authoritative in the match, but unfortunately the Mexicans dominated the game against the Black Stars. Now, the second lesson I picked up from the game was that the Mexicans were able to do their homework on Mohamed Kudus very well. Kudus was one of our go-to players who was going to change how the Ghana team was going to set up when it comes to attack, but unfortunately the Mexican team were able to give Kudus not just marking, but they zonally marked Kudus out of the game, and it proved very difficult for Mohamed Kudus to step up and get enough chances in the game. I only saw Kudus make one attempt at scoring, one shot that he got in the game, and I think that moving forward, this is one of the things you have to learn on how to position Kudus in the game. Should he be more attacking focused, or are we going to allow him to play as a regular number 10 where he can move in and out and play box to box and all that? Well, the other lesson that I learned from the game is that one top is not helping us. Going into this game, I thought Coach Chris Hughton was going to explore and experiment how Ghana would look when we play two top. The one top is still not helping. Once again, Antoine Semenyo starts a game and is not able to score. You would think it is Inaki Williams, but now we've all realized that Inaki Williams is not the problem, but one top is not helping us. Since AFCON 2019, it hasn't helped. To AFCON 2021, it hasn't helped. We've gone to the World Cup, it hasn't helped. Afena-Gyan came to do his best, nothing came out of it, and I think that one top is not the solution to the Black Stars goal scoring problems, and Coach Chris Hughton must find an amicable goal solution to Ghana's failure to score goals in games so that we can improve on our goal scoring abilities. Now the fourth lesson that I also picked up from the game was that Kudus had to release the ball on time. Yes, most of the time you saw Kudus on the ball, you would want to say that Kudus was being selfish and all that, but I felt like you should release the ball more. Most of the football pundits we've listened to have always said that Kudus has to release the ball on time. Sometimes he wants to go solo and score the goals, but sometimes too he gets blocked, and that was what happened in this game, and I felt that at some point in time Kudus had to release the ball on time. So that is another lesson that I picked from the game. And the fifth lesson I also picked up from the game was that the Mexicans built a strong attack against the Black Stars. When you look at the Black Stars team, we always sat back whenever we lost the ball, but when the Mexicans lost the ball, they were always pressing at the Black Stars players, and I think that we gave the Mexicans enough room to operate, and when they got the opportunities in the second half, that was when they were able to score those two goals against the Black Stars. So moving forward in our game against USA, I want to see the Black Stars dominating more, and also ensure that when it comes to pressing, we press better whenever we lose the ball. Now, to what led the Black Stars to concede the first goal was lack of attention. Yes, our Black Stars players lost attention when the Mexicans got the opportunity from that set piece. We lost attention. They just passed the ball quickly and they moved to the laterals. Then they moved into our penalty box. Then boom, that was when the opportunity came for the Mexican player Lozano to score the first goal in the game. And I think that we lost complete awareness. We were not aware that they were going to pass the ball very quickly, and that is one thing that has worried the Black Stars since the 2006 AFCON when Nigeria beat Ghana in that particular game. If you follow the Black Stars for a long time, you remember that game when Tai Taiwo scored a very surprising free kick, and we all said, oh, the referee didn't whistle and all that. That is what's happened similarly in this particular goal that we conceded. And I think that the Black Stars must always be aware when they are playing matches like this. The second goal too, I would blame it of lack of passing accuracy. When you look at how we considered the second goal, it was very, very disappointing. Nicolas Opoku, who had played a very good game until that particular point in time, just had one thing to do: pass the ball to his teammates and rather give the ball out. And the Mexicans just moved straight into attack, and we were outnumbered when it comes to defense, and that was how the Mexicans were able to score this particular goal. So I think that we have to improve on our awareness and also passing accuracy, and whenever we are moving from defense to attack, it always has to be sharp, because we can't afford to lose the ball at that point in time. So this is another lesson that I learned in the game. Well, the next lesson I also picked up from the game was that Partey feared injury, so that was why he was substituted in the game. If you looked at how the Mexicans were constantly tackling our players and the referee did not do anything about it, I felt that Partey realized that he was at risk of getting injured, so he prompted the coach to substitute him so that Salas comes in as a substitute in the game. Well, so that is one thing I think worried us in the game, because Partey was going to be the game changer in the game for us. But unfortunately, because Joseph Edu got injured and got substituted for Ali Lusaidi to come on, Partey didn't want to risk the opportunity of not playing the game against Chelsea after the international break is over. So that was why I'm sure he told the coach to substitute him on the safer side so that he doesn't return to Arsenal injured. Another lesson that we picked up from the game was that we really missed the partnership between Amartey and Alexander Djiku. These two defenders have been a solid work when it comes to the defense, but unfortunately in this game we didn't see the agency in defense as Nicolas Opoku and Joseph Edu played as if they were strangers. Meanwhile, they played together in such a good game against Liberia, and we expected them to bring the telepathy into this game, but unfortunately that was not so. And if you go on social media whilst watching the game, you realize that fans were just saying that they missed Amartey and Djiku's partnership, and I think that was really a big blow to Ghana. So it means that if they are not there for the AFCON, how would we have performed? I think that Coach Chris Hughton and his technical team have to work on our defenders. And lastly, one of the things that I picked up from the game was that this was Coach Chris Hughton's first defeat ever since he took over as Black Stars head coach. Well, Coach Chris Hughton was handed his new role as head coach of the Black Stars after serving as the technical advisor to the national team at the start of the year around February, when he was announced as head coach of the Black Stars. And his first assignment was a doubleheader against Angola. We won that match at home against Angola, went away and drew that game. And since then, Coach Chris Hughton has played a total of 6 matches. He has won 3 matches and has drawn 2 matches, and has suffered his first loss against Mexico. So this is his first defeat ever since he took over as head coach of the Black Stars. And I think that, well, Coach Chris Hughton has a lot of work to do before the Black Stars begin their campaign in the AFCON 2023 tournament, which will be hosted in Ivory host. So yes, these are the lessons that I picked up from the game. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you disagree with me or if you have any other contributions. Until then, thanks for doing the watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment. My name is Joseph Adamafio, and I'm out.